SportzBlitz Live is on the air with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown, Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown!
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of SportzBlitz Live.
Good Tuesday evening to everybody, and welcome into SportzBlitz Live, presented by JR's Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Love to have you call us tonight if you'd like to join in on the program. Of course, you can comment away on Facebook Live at SportzBlitz, and that's sports with a Z. Call us 256-234-6221. Luke, good to see you tonight. 2 hours worth here as we move forward. A ton to talk about as always on this program. We'll talk a little bit about some new hires around the state as far as some of the coaches in high school and football. The super regional action coming up this weekend. The regionals have concluded. We'll talk about the SEC teams that have moved on to that. And, you know, one thing I thought about Ole Miss, they move on to the super regional.
Yeah,
it's crazy, isn't it?
It's funny, and you know, but I always hate the argument that, well, that justifies their getting in. No, it doesn't. Once you get in, anything can happen. The same way with NCAA tournament.
Right.
I mean, once you get in, anything can happen. So that it's did you deserve to be there? And if Ole Miss deserved to be there, I felt like Alabama did too. And if Alabama didn't, I felt like Ole Miss didn't. So that was my whole thing about that. That's not to say I think Alabama would have made the same moves as Ole Miss. They obviously had a lot of talent. They were number one at one point in the year. But I'm happy for them, frankly, because I'm an SEC guy when it comes to baseball.
Right.
So I mean,
course,
I'm pro SEC kicking butt in baseball.
NCAA action, you know, with Division I baseball is a lot of fun. You know, the tournament itself, trying to get to Omaha is always a big deal, and Auburn moves on. We'll talk about that in detail. I went Sunday to that game against UCLA that had to be delayed and ended up finishing on Monday. But Auburn's bats awaken in this regional, coming off the Kentucky series and then in the SEC tournament. The bats were cold. It wasn't looking good, but the bats have awakened. They put 19 against Southeast Louisiana. They put 21 on the board against Florida State, and they come back and put an 11 spot up against UCLA, and they win 3, and they move on. So they didn't have to play that loser leave town game if they were to have lost one game. So Auburn's bats matching their pitching, gave up 7, 7, and 4, but a lot of those runs against Southeast Louisiana came late. Same with Florida State. The games were pretty much over about midway through the 5th to the 6th inning, and Joseph Gonzalez continues to do what he's done all year. He improved to 7-2. Trace Bright had a good outing against Southeast Louisiana, and then, of course, Mason Barnett really cruised, had only given up one hit when that game was suspended on Sunday night. So, man, that was grueling. You get there, the game's already starting at 6 on Sunday, and you sit in the stands for 2 hours because there's a 2-hour lightning delay. Then you start the game, and in about the 4th inning, it starts lightning again. But they were able to manage and get through the 5th, and a hellacious storm blew up, and so they had to suspend it. At that time, Auburn was really rolling. UCLA comes back and puts 4 on the board on Monday, but it wasn't enough. But again, Sonny, and it's not Sonny DeShare, I'll talk about him in a minute, but Butch Thompson and this coaching staff, Luke, this is becoming a commonality now for Auburn baseball. Getting in the regionals, I think they've won 10 consecutive regional games now. And, you know, that's what we were hoping as Auburn fans when Butch Thompson was hired. Could he take Auburn back to a team that could be competitive and get them to postseason? Before he got there, it was a struggle to even get to the SEC tournament. Alabama was the same way, but both teams now seem to be improving. I know that Brad Bohannon, a lot of Alabama fans, and I say a lot, some maybe would be a better word, don't want Brad Bohannon to stay. I think Brad Bohannon's a good coach, and I'm saying that from his ability to recruit his time at Kentucky to the time Butch Thompson hired him to come to Auburn, and what he's been able to do with Alabama's program. I know they didn't win some games this year, but I remember a few years ago Butch Thompson was losing those midweek games to Troy and maybe Jacksonville State and maybe South Alabama and UAB. But let me say this about that. A lot of people don't understand. When you get into SEC play, you're not going to pitch any of your regular starters in a midweek game against Jacksonville State and Troy. So you got to go with a middle relief guy or somebody that's not going to give you any innings during SEC play. And if you don't have a higher caliber guy, you're susceptible to lose because those guys at South Alabama and UAB, they're going to pitch somebody because that's a big win for them if they can knock them off. So when you recruit, you build a program, you get better pitching up and down, so you start to win those games even when you're not throwing your best guy.
I've always believed that too, and for some reason, don't ask me why, I was listening to a national broadcast on SiriusXM on ESPNU about the tournament before it got started.
Right.
And they had one of the smaller school coaches on there. I can't remember which one. And they made mention of that very fact.
Right.
And that coach now, again, he's going to defend his own.
Yeah.
But he said, look, that's sort of a misnomer. That doesn't happen as often as you think. It's really we're trying to win our conference too, so we're not going to send our ace out there.
Sure, I know
and
that,
so,
but
now – If that is right, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I do think I could make the argument, hey, it's probably more important for you. You get those wins over an SEC team, that's going to help you a lot too. But if that is true, then I think it goes, okay, all things remaining equal, you'd think Alabama's third pitcher would be better than Troy's third pitcher.
Right.
I mean, no offense to Troy, but that should always be.
I will say this about Troy. Jacksonville State's got a heck of a program. Troy's good. South Alabama's dang good. It's different in baseball than it is basketball. And, we've seen South Alabama and UAB play Auburn and Alabama to the end in basketball. I mean, it's not football. I mean, in football, yeah, you're going to line up and you should beat those teams by 21 to 35 points, on any given night. In baseball, it's different. Pitchers can come out and have a phenomenal outing and shut an entire lineup down. And that's the crazy thing. A shooter can get unconscious on the floor shooting a basketball and pour in 40 one night and upset somebody. So it's different in football. A lot different in football.
Oh, it definitely is. And again, I think if I'm not trying to steal any sunshine away from Auburn doing well, but if
you wouldn't do that,
if Alabama would only lose occasionally these midweek games, I think it'd be less of a.
But I do remember that for Auburn a few years ago. They didn't win any of those midweek games. They lost to UAB, they lost to Troy, they lost to Jacksonville, Sanford, and you were like, God Almighty, man, so you're thinking that this program isn't where it needs to be, and. This year it was totally different, and it's been that way for about 4 or 5 years now. Auburn making it to the College World Series a couple of years ago, and now I think this is the third or fourth regional under Butch Thompson. They've been to 2 now. I think this will be their third super regional that Auburn will be at. So they got to go all the way out to Oregon to take on Oregon State, which will be a tough trip. But Vanderbilt there for a while, I thought was almost going to knock them off and have a chance to give Auburn an opportunity to host, which would have been awesome. But they'll be up to the task. You're just glad you make it and you get past
it. It is bizarre that UConn. Now, I feel like UConn probably should have to go all the way to Stanford because they're one of the lower seeded still remaining. But then Auburn has to probably go the second longest to Oregon State, and those are the only 2 West Coast teams that are left that are hosting. But the rest of this is pretty interesting. I mean, East Carolina and Texas, I'm going to be pulling for Texas there. I would love to see, let's assume, Oregon State, Auburn, I'll pull for Oregon State, I'm not going to lie, but if Auburn got in, I'd be fine because SEC. But even though Southern Miss is ranked number 11, I'm certainly going to pull for Ole Miss. Yeah. And then Arkansas, North Carolina, of course, I'm going to pull for Arkansas, but North Carolina's got a great tradition in baseball too, so that'd be kind of cool. Then if Stanford gets in, then you look on the other side. You got Tennessee, who's been, unquestionably the number one team in the country, whether or not you like them, and I don't. All this.
They're the most rogue bunch I've ever
The justification that some of their writers had
just
about
shoot
a guy
shooting
a bird out, and they always talk about, it's in the moment.
They're classless.
It's not.
It's total classless, and I don't want to hear anybody defend.
It's so stupid.
Tony Vitello. Because it is a direct reflection on what he obviously allows in his program.
So you could have, but listen, just think about this for a second, Brad. You could have Tennessee, Texas, Texas A&M, Oklahoma. All of those schools are either in the SEC or will be in the SEC shortly.
Right.
Then you have Stanford. Let's assume they get in. Let's assume Arkansas gets in. Let's assume Ole Miss and Auburn get in. You could effectively have 7 members of the SEC
basically
in this
the
thing.
SEC tournament.
That's ridiculous.
Just if my memory serves me correctly, back in 1990, I think it was 97 when Auburn went. No, I think it was even later than that.
99?
I have to go back and dig. But anyway, 4 of the 8 teams in the College World Series were from the SEC
West.
Mm-hmm. And that I'm like, you could finish 4th in your division and make it to Omaha. It's a different level. I mean, and I know people not from the South get tired of hearing the SEC banter, but what is the SEC not better than other conferences in? I mean, they're better in softball now. I know Oklahoma's the lone.
Well, even then, no, Oklahoma's playing Texas. Both of them will be in the SEC.
I know now, but I mean, up until this point, let's just take them out for a second. Okay, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, Auburn here of late, those teams.
Florida.
Now Arkansas. Just
Kentucky.
dominant in softball. Okay, let's look at gymnastics. I mean, and we can go down the list and name Florida and Auburn and Alabama, and the list goes on and on. Look at football. You don't even have to talk about football. It's a given. Look at basketball now. They've taken over. Arkansas, Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, Kentucky.
Well, the only argument I'd have about basketball is they sure look better all during the year, and then everybody sort of fell on their face.
They did this year, but up from top to bottom, I'd put the SEC up against anybody, including the ACC.
Now, I don't know. I don't remember how we did in women's basketball. I'm not going to pretend I know that. I know Tennessee was doing better than people thought.
UConn was back in it, and then, of course, Notre Dame's got a good program. Mississippi State, South Carolina. Well, South Carolina won the thing
this year.
They won it this year. So South Carolina beat UConn. So
is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's right.
So pretty good. So
yeah,
SEC pretty good.
I couldn't remember.
And in baseball, I mean, you just named them off. I mean, if you're going to include Texas and Oklahoma, I mean, it's pretty much the SEC tournament going on in Omaha. So I know the Big Ten. I know the Pac-12 and the ACC get sick of this. But, I mean, it's a runaway train. It's the best. The SEC, the slogan, I know people laugh at it. It means more. But it obviously does. They want to be the best in every single thing, no matter if it's gymnastics, equestrian, swimming, tennis, whatever you want to look at. It's always at least 1 or 2 SEC teams in the mix competing for the national championship. So when you have that kind of reputation, you're going to attract the best athletes in every sport. So, but it is kind of crazy to look down and see. When you also look at the teams that are in this thing, if you want to look at the Southeast, Tennessee, East Carolina, if we want to include Texas, you can, Texas A&M, Louisville, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma. Then you got North Carolina, Arkansas, Southern Miss, Ole Miss, and then Auburn. I mean, the majority are almost below the Mason-Dixon line. And so it's just it's a dominant force that's going on right now.
And then you wonder why the SEC will do things like say, hey, we'll just have our own tournament in football because they know they have the leverage. And if you have the leverage and you don't use it, that's kind of on you. It means you're not growing, and it means you're not aware. I think that the SEC is just doing all it can to strengthen its own brand, and they're doing it better than anybody else.
Right, and this will tell you about Butch Thompson. This is Auburn's 4th super regional since 1999, and 3 of them have been under his watch, 18, 19, and now 22. So, the guy has solidified himself and put Auburn back, in the top rung of the SEC. So we're up against our first break of the program, just getting started. Give us a call, 256-234-6221. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Sunshine Heating and Air. Just kind of go back and recap, what we talked about in the beginning segment. We talked about coaching changes in high school, and Luke, this is not the most opportune time to have to be looking for a new coach going into the month of June. But sometimes you're dealt those cards, and Benjamin Russell was dealt those cards in May when Aubrey Blackwell decided to take a job in Mississippi at Jackson Academy. So there was an opening there. There's been a couple of spots along with Benjamin Russell that were vacated. Pike Road was looking for a coach. They hired the coach from Eufaula, which now means Eufaula's looking for a coach. This thing kind of is a cycle at this time of year. Smitty Grider is the new coach at Benjamin Russell. He had stepped away from football for about 6 months and then realized that was a mistake. And I talked to him. I interviewed him last week when he was announced at Benjamin Russell. And he said, "Look, I thought I was ready to step away." And he said, "I quickly found out I'm not a real estate guy. I'm a football coach."
But it's funny. I mean, not funny. It's just funny, not ha-ha funny, but just sort of weird because I was listening to the other sports show out of Auburn some, and they would have him on as I guess he was sponsoring a segment.
Right.
And for real estate stuff, and he was talking about it. And He was mostly talking about football, though. And then
it's in your blood.
And then at the end he'd say, "Yeah, give me a call for all your real estate needs." Essentially, I mean, you wouldn't have known he was selling real estate. And I even had the thought, man, you sound like you still want to coach, but I just let it go because I didn't know the parameters of why he wasn't coaching. But I think it's a good hire. I mean, he's a well-known guy.
17, he's a veteran coach, 17 years. He's got a really good record. He built Park Crossing from the ground up, was 32-9 there, had a team that went 13-0 in the semifinals and eventually got knocked out by Opelika, who moved on to play in the next round in the state championship. But again, was the coach to build that program. He was the coach that was tasked with building the new combined Dothan High School when it combined Dothan and Northview. Went 8-3 the first year in 6A and then got put into the SEC West in 7A with Auburn and Phoenix City and Enterprise and all that, and kind of fell a little bit on tough times. But, that's the cards you're dealt. And so really had a phenomenal record. His longest stay was at Beauregard and really had a phenomenal record there. Also had 1 year, his first head coaching job was at Coosa Central, went 5-5. Which is impressive. He's a veteran coach, and I've talked to a lot of coaches around the state, and he's highly respected. A lot of people, know Smitty Grider as a guy that's a hard-nosed, no-nonsense football coach, and his record shows that, Luke. So I know he's excited to get started, but there's a lot of work to do in a very small amount of time.
Let's go ahead and get a call, Brett. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you didn't answer my question.
Okay. I like to do that.
Yeah, I just wonder what that new head coach name was.
Smitty Grider.
What you said his name was?
Smitty Grider.
Oh, okay.
So I answered your question, but you didn't hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay.
Yeah, when I called, you answered it before y'all answered.
Okay,
I got you.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, looking forward to having him here.
When's his first game?
I'd have to pull it up. It'll be about mid to late August. It's going to be Sylacauga on the road. I do know that.
It's going to be Sylacauga, ain't it?
It will be in Sylacauga, correct.
Well, I don't like to go out of town by myself, and I don't know, but I can watch it on Channel 21.
We're going up there. The whole team will be up there.
That's right.
Yeah, they'll televise it on Channel 21.
Yeah, it won't do it live though.
Yeah, you do it live.
Nah, I don't know.
I watched a lot of Sylacauga games last year, and they were live.
Well, you have to pay, I think. So we'll check on it, though, brother. We appreciate the call.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Tell Luke the Athlon book is out at Walmart.
The what now? Athlon? Yeah. It's interesting.
They got Alabama #1.
I know.
Real shocked. Real shocked.
I got something else I want to talk about with that in just a second, but we appreciate the phone call, Charles.
Yeah, y'all have a great night.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah, it's interesting. He brought up the Athlon thing. It's funny.
It's not the only thing.
I saw the headline. It said Alabama places 18 guys on that preseason Athlon All-SEC team, and I was thinking, good Lord. I mean, as a Bammer, I'm thinking that's not. They have 4 teams, Brett. Why do you need 4 preseason All-SEC teams? That is so symbolic of this everybody gets a trophy society we're in. It's bothersome to me that we think we have to have 4 All-SEC teams. I mean, swear to God, the 2 running backs on the 4th team, I'm sure they're pretty good guys, but I was like, I follow SEC football. I don't really remember them at all. And so
I mean, you talk about having something to talk about.
I mean, it's just bananas. Let's just do 2. I mean, I could live with just 1. Just have 1. But if you want to do a second team because you feel like, okay, it may be one of those things where let's just throw out a couple of names. True. You might have a Tim Tebow and a Peyton Manning there at the same time. You're like, which one do you pick? Well, you got to, do a 1A, 1B thing.
4?
4? I mean, who on earth?
We have the most everybody gets an award society now, and I'm a little hesitant to tell this story, but I'm gonna tell it. And just there was an event, and we had some small kids, and they had a little competition, and we broke them up into 2 teams, and they kind of went on a little scavenger hunt or whatever, and we told them, the team that comes back that has the most right. And and has, it's a little photo scavenger hunt. You take it with your camera on your phone, come back, and the one that has the most right wins. And so we had a little prize, and the ones that didn't win, still, they did good, but they didn't win. And I had multiple kids come up to me and go, well, I sure would like to have one of those prizes. And I was like, I said, I know. And they were like waiting on me to go, okay, let me give you one too. And when I said, I know, that's part of it, and I said, but y'all did good, and all this kind of stuff, and they were just kind of hanging around going, okay, is he going to really – I know he's just talking to us, but I mean, that's what we've trained our kids to think, is that, okay, we didn't beat the other team, but I'm still going to get something. And that's that's the equivalent of having 4 teams in Athlon's preseason. It's ridiculous.
And, Brett, we've made it so that nobody knows how to handle losing. Nobody.
I'll never forget this, and Braden will probably be mad that I told this, but I'll never forget it. For the Little League, we played for the championship one year in baseball, and we lost. Now we won several times, but we lost. And when we lost, we didn't get anything. And, the emotion of not just not getting anything, but the emotion of losing, I'll never forget. He was upset and crying, but he was crying because he's mad, not because he didn't get. And that's what you want to see. It's like, I never want to feel this again. I'm going to do whatever I can if I'm put in the position to make sure I don't ever feel like this again. That's what the agony of losing should do to somebody that's really competitive. I'm going to do whatever the heck I got to do. You remember Tim Tebow getting up with his emotional speech against Ole Miss. He said, I don't care. I don't ever want to have this feeling again. I will do 10 times more than I've ever done before to make sure we don't ever have this happen to us again. They went on and won the national championship. That's the kind of drive you hope that you get out of it. But if you allow everybody to just get a prize because they participated, then you create a society of, okay, well, I don't really have to push that hard because I'm going to get something anyway.
And it's you're right. It's so funny. Because now you see, we're in this posture over at our company where you could use some more people to work, and everybody's got a labor shortage. I went to McDonald's in Atmore coming back from the beach. Brett, they probably had 5 people in there, and there was a line out the door. There was a line of cars everywhere.
I feel sorry for the ones that show up to work.
I feel sorry for them, too, because everybody's mad as hell at them.
That's exactly right.
And it's not their fault. But we've made it where – when you take some jobs like this, instead of looking at it like this is a learning experience, you work your way up, you work there, and then you try and become a good manager. It's like, no, I'll just do something. I'll just do something in tech, or I'll do I'll take surveys all day long, or I'll do whatever. But I'm not doing that because it's frowned upon. Mm-hmm. And really, that's not. It's like everybody has to be rich, everybody has to be famous, and not everybody's gonna be.
It's the service industry as a whole. We don't do. You're right. We've made that totally unpopular and uncouth.
And here's the thing. Somebody told me this about 15 years ago, that if kids then would start learning a trade, they don't know how much money they'd make. Yeah, they got to get a little dirtier. Yeah, you buy Wranglers because they don't tear up as much instead of buying the designer jeans or whatever. But you know what? He was dead on. Because, we're getting further and further away from people knowing some basic skills. And it's going to be eventually that table will turn because there'll be so much demand for those people that their salaries will increase.
Right.
So people will start getting back in the field. But until then, we're just try and get a plumber, an electrician, or something right now. Those are talented dudes out there working, but they're not as many of them.
And they can get as much business as they absolutely want.
Air conditioning, heating and air conditioning.
Yeah.
Man, you can't. Those guys are just phones off the hook.
Sunshine, heat, and air. every time I'm down at Kevin Kill's office, I mean, it's constant. The phone just never stops ringing. And, you know, it's like he told me. He said, I could have as much as I wanted. And, you know, the problem is you hire people, but you want to hire people that are trustworthy and do a good job because they represent your business. And if you go out there and you have a bunch of people that don't do good jobs, now all of a sudden you ruin your reputation. So up against another break. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto, central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
When the Lake Martin area wants country, it turns to Kalijah Country 97.5. Lake Martin's best country.
Goes like one margarita, two margarita, three margarita shot. If the house just keeps on winning, I got a wild card up my sleeve. And I wish grandpa's never died.
Lake Martin's best country is on Kalijah Country 97.5.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Sunshine Heating and Air, halfway through the first hour of the program. If you got a comment or question, you can hit us up on Facebook Live. Sports Blitz, that's sports with a Z. You can give us a call, 256-234-6221. We'll always appreciate it. Super Regionals coming up in Knoxville. The number one seeded Tennessee Volunteers will host Notre Dame. That Super Regional will start on Friday at 5 o'clock. In Greenville, North Carolina, it will be the 8 and 9 seeds, East Carolina versus the Texas Longhorns. That game will start at 11 o'clock on Friday morning. So an early start there in Greenville, North Carolina. College Station, Texas A&M really caught fire about halfway through the season. Auburn went to Texas A&M, I think, in the second series of the season and took 2 out of 3 and almost swept the Aggies, but they kind of caught fire.
At that time, I remember everybody thought Texas A&M kind of stinks.
Right.
And then because they had also
Then I
not
think we
played
kind of found out that Auburn was pretty good.
Well,
and
I think A&M and also their record was sort of middling at that time, but they really
they're legit now.
Yeah,
I mean, they elevated themselves all the way to the number 5 seed. They'll take on Louisville, who is no stranger to Omaha, has been several times here in the last few years. In Blacksburg, Virginia, Virginia Tech will host Oklahoma. Virginia Tech, the number 4 seed, Oklahoma unseeded. That game will start, their first game on Friday at 2 p.m. Back to College Station, they won't start until 7:30 at night on Friday. Stanford, California, will take on UConn. Stanford, the number 2 seed. They'll start Saturday, so their Super Regional will start at 9:30 p.m., not a.m., 9:30 p.m. on Saturday on ESPNU. Chapel Hill, North Carolina, first game on Saturday at 10 o'clock against Arkansas. Again, Arkansas, no stranger to Omaha either. They seem to be a regular. North Carolina, the number 10 national seed. Hattiesburg, Mississippi, in a dogfight there with LSU. They were able to win that win-all game. Southern Miss, the number 11 seed, will host Ole Miss. So that will be a huge, huge super regional there.
Let me ask this. Okay, I get why you don't do it in basketball, although I think you still could do it in basketball, and I'd like to see it done this way, although it'd screw up brackets forever. In baseball, why is it, if you're Oregon State, I'm kind of PO'd. I got to play Auburn. I got to play the 14 seed in the whole thing. But
Southern Miss has got to play Ole Miss, who wasn't
Southern Miss has
ranked.
got Ole Miss, who barely got in.
Virginia Tech's got Oklahoma.
Why can't you re-rank these things?
That's
Why
true.
is that so hard? Why is that a big deal? That is a more legitimate way to keep this. Because, see, UConn, or at Ole Miss, for example, I don't know much about UConn. Ole Miss should have the toughest path possible to winning a national championship. If we're going to let them in,
And now,
now
they're hot, and they're going to play an 11 seed.
If we're going to let them in because they're a half-ass team all year long, and then let's say they get a little fortunate. Now they end up playing the right team, quote unquote. But let's say the 4 seed out of that bracketed one, Ole Miss could have the easiest path all the way to Omaha, and that's not fair to an Oregon State. Stanford, I think, got the right draw. They play UConn, who's one of the worst teams left.
And
it's perfect.
you know, I think Oregon State and Auburn kind of both get screwed. I mean, Oregon State's a number 3, but they're playing an extremely hot Auburn team that just broke an SEC record for most runs scored in 3 games. I mean, they got to deal with that. They struggled a little bit at home with Vanderbilt. They got shelled the night before. They were able to win by 1 run yesterday. So that's a tough round. And then Auburn's got to go all the way across the country.
See, you could make this where, and the travel doesn't bother me as much as if they just said, okay, we're going to reseed this thing. And we're going to say, you know, instead of East Carolina having to play Texas, that's a tough matchup. East Carolina should get somebody, and Texas for that matter, a little bit easier because they should be rewarded instead of rewarding an Ole Miss, is my point.
No, I see exactly. You know, what they do is they take the 16 national seeds and they do it like, you know, 1 is 16, 2 is 15, 3, 14.
I get it.
But it's not a guarantee that the national seed's going to win their region.
And that's the same way I've always thought about basketball. If we're going to keep letting these bunk teams in, which we do, we're going to. That's fine. I'm fine with it. I'm not fine with it, but I accept it.
But you've accepted it.
So after the first round, why don't we reseed them when – okay, I understand you can't do it in the first 2 rounds because everybody's got to go to a pod and there's too much moving around. But starting in the Sweet 16, reseed everybody again. You know, if the number 1 seed has made it through in that bracket, let him keep being the number 1 seed. But if the highest seed left in a particular region is the number 8 seed, you know, change some things up.
Right.
I mean, it's just not fair to me. I mean, and I think Oregon State's a good example. Auburn is too, but I think Oregon State, I would have the bigger gripe. Like Oregon State, you're going, wait a minute, I got to play another seeded squad. And Stanford, who is 1 seed ahead better than me, they play a UConn team that everybody thought was going to get whitewashed in the first round. I mean, it's kind of nutty to me. And
it's a flaw, maybe.
I think it's a flaw, but again, these are ideas that are not going to change. I mean, I would in a perfect world, I think that's how you do it. I think the team that least deserves to get in should have the hardest path.
I don't see a problem with reseeding after teams win once they punch their ticket at the Super Regional. I think it needs to be reevaluated. Okay, here are the teams that have won the regionals. These teams were not a national seed, but these teams were. They get a preference, a priority. We'll mix them up and now reseed. I don't see a problem with that.
And see, I mean, frankly, you could do the NCAA basketball tournament that way. Do it just like this. Say we're going to have, we're going to seed them 1 through 16,
Right.
have some pods, and then we're going to play them, and then we're going to reseed again after that. I think that makes it a lot more fair, and it would get a lot of people like me off the back of anybody that has a problem with 64 or 68 teams. Because then I'd say, okay, if UConn has to play Maryland, who was the number 4 or 5 seed,
Right.
number 6, whatever they were, and then they got to go and beat Stanford, and then they got to go to Omaha, and at Omaha they start out with the toughest round. Then it's kind of much harder to complain about.
Yeah, no doubt. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
You already know the power and reliability of a Mahindra tractor. Get ready to meet their ATV and UTV lines. Haul more and tow more. Do more. Reaching speeds up to 60 miles an hour. Models have a 12-inch ground clearance and the ability to haul up to 1,200 pounds. There's a Mahindra utility vehicle and a model specifically to get the job done. Test drive today at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor. Serving Tallapoosa, Coosa, Clay, and Talladega counties. 256-392-3613.
Hi, I'm Scott Blake.
I'm Angie Richardson, and we are the loan team here at Movement Mortgage.
Whether you're a first-time home buyer or you've gone through the process before,
Our mission is to help you move forward with the purchase of your future plans. Call me at 256-397-2771.
or call me at 256-794-1003.
Scott Blake, NMLS number 527945. Angie Richardson, NMLS number 216556. Movement Mortgage supports equal housing opportunity. NMLS number 39179. For licensing information, please visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Hey guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
Castelluccio Fine Italian Dining in downtown Alexander City is rapidly becoming the region's standard for Italian cuisine, as well as hand-cut filet mignon, fresh Gulf seafood, and the area's best Italian import wine selection. We offer true old-world charm with unmatched hospitality. Like Castelluccio Fine Dining on Facebook to keep up with daily lunch and dinner specials. Also new, we offer catering for your family and small business, so call and order. Castelluccio, downtown Alexander City, where the only thing that rivals the flavor is the dining experience.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Back here on Sports Blitz Live, give us a call, 256-234-6221, or comment away, ask us a question on Facebook Live. Kind of talking about the College World Series. We talked about the Super Regional. Women's College World Series starts tomorrow. It's Oklahoma, and nobody cares because Oklahoma is just that much better. But they are playing their rival, Texas. So that should be pretty interesting. That starts at 7:30 tomorrow, and then they'll play again on Thursday, and then if needed, on Friday at 7:30. So Women's College World Series, Oklahoma has just been far and away they're kind of like Tennessee in baseball. I mean, Oklahoma has just been that dominant all season long. And so, but we'll see. Play it on the field.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
What's going on?
Okay, the SEC, their logo, it just means more.
Yes, sir.
And number 2, East Carolina has been to the College World Series more than anybody else, but they've never won it.
Really? I did not know that. So I know Florida State. I thought Florida State held that record.
Well, I heard it say last night on TV East Carolina had.
Okay, that's a little shocking to me. If somebody had asked that trivia question, I'd have said Florida State.
I mean, I'm not a college baseball aficionado. I don't remember East Carolina being in it.
I don't remember them being in it either. It must have been a while back. So
us going to Oregon, we might pick up some good recruits out there. You know, I ain't talking about Bo Nix now.
Maybe.
Well, I've already gotten all the guys that left the state to go up there.
Maybe Brian Harsin will
yeah, maybe Harsin and Pearl will go out there and do some recruiting while they're out there.
We're about to talk about some football coaches in the SEC, so we'll segue into that here shortly. But yeah.
One more thing. I think Luke's got his panties in a wad tonight.
What did I get wadded up about?
Sounds like he's been whining about the whole show.
Hey, I'm used to it.
I'll have a good one.
Hey, appreciate your call. You better get your panties out of your crack.
Gosh almighty. Dude.
God, quit being so negative. Anyway,
wow.
We'll kind of segue into a little bit of coach talk here in the SEC. Arkansas football coach Sam Pittman has now agreed to a contract extension through 2026. So is that jumping the gun a little bit, or is that Arkansas really saying, hey, we don't want to lose this guy? Is Sam Pittman a threat to leave Arkansas and go somewhere?
You know, no, I don't think so. I don't. I like Sam Pittman a lot.
I do too.
I mean, boy, he's hard not to like. You know, and I am.
He's overachieved. There's no
I'm
doubt.
a huge proponent, especially in football, because SEC is defined by football. But I want our football coaches to be caricatures of the schools they represent.
Right.
And I think Sam Pittman. You can't get any more Arkansas than Sam Pittman. And you couldn't get any more Louisiana than Ed Orgeron.
No doubt.
That's why I think the Brian Kelly experiment's not going to work. I guess it could.
Brian Kelly's getting paid a below amount of money, man. I'm about to talk about that, but
I think Jimbo Fisher, whether you like him or dislike him, is very Texas A&M. I think Nick Saban is very Alabama. Now, Alabama, I think all schools have gone through some personality changes, but when Nick Saban got there, I think that's exactly what Alabama needed, and Alabama's been in lockstep since then. I just feel like it's so cool when a coach sort of is what their university is. He's like the personification of that. And I think Sam Pittman is as much Arkansas as any other coach is their respective school.
All right, so I'll start at the bottom. We got to get to break, and when we come back, we'll start at the bottom. It's just good to be an SEC coach, man, because if you're
it's good to be any coach.
Vanderbilt in the salary this guy makes, you have no expectation.
Look.
You have no let's be honest. If you really just wanted a job where you're like, I'm going to make a lot of money, but nobody really cares I may win a game or two here and there that I may surprise somebody, but nobody has any expectations for me or this team to win anything, squat. It's pretty dang good salary.
Why do you want to get your panties wadded up about Vanderbilt?
Daggone, man. So I'm good over here. Anyway, we'll take a break.
I'll stand up and pull everything out.
I'll make sure to leave the room, okay? Stay tuned. More SportzBlitz Live right after this.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City. Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry?
Fast, fresh, and friendly. That's the Allen Brew Market mission to our customers on the go. Allen Brew Markets of Talladega County fuel your vehicle and you with the best coffee, drinks, snacks, and food, so you can get your day on the fast track. Allen Brew Markets are always convenient with Sylacauga locations on Main Avenue, Highway 280, and Old Birmingham Highway. Allen Brew Markets has everything for the family on the go, and we're always brewing up great specials. Fast, fresh, and friendly, our guarantee to you.
The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider, Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Why is Sarah Automotive Group on Highway 280 in Sylacauga the place for the best deals on your new ride? 3 compelling reasons. 1. With 3 full new car dealers on one lot, you get the best in comparison and incentives on Fords, Hondas, and Nissans. Unmatched selection. 2. Sarah pays over market value for your trade to maintain East Central Alabama's best pre-owned vehicle selection and sales. And 3. The Sarah Automotive price won't be beat and delivers lower payments and huge value on your next buy. Shop online or on Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Welcome back, everyone, to SportzBlitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Look, sometimes we come back from break and we talk and we're laughing. And that Johnny Depp, that doctor for Amanda Heard that was on I've never heard something so bizarre. I didn't watch this trial, by the way. I just saw the clips.
I mean, but
what in the heck was he doing up there? They asked a question and it was like.
It was like an episode of Night Court.
It was like, are you doing it? And so Johnny, to me, that was weird, but Johnny Depp's and his lawyer's reaction, they're sitting there and they go, and it's just like, and the lawyer looks over at Johnny Depp and goes, what's wrong? Is he having a spell or something? Like, get some daggone water, dude. I mean, dry mouth or whatever. But anyway, just golly, man, entertainment in this country.
Well, it's amazing that we've had, so many other tragedies, and this thing took top billing.
We're in the middle of some of the most
meteorite. We need a meteorite. We need Jurassic Park dinosaurs or something because we deserve whatever we get.
It's hard to argue with that. Okay. Speaking of whatever you get what you deserve. Clark, is it Leah?
I think it's
Clark
Lee.
Lee.
I think it's Lee.
Okay, Princess Leia. Clark Lee at Vanderbilt makes $2.5 million a year. Who's got a better gig in the world? I'm serious. You making outstanding money at a school that nobody cares and nobody has any expectations. I mean, you literally can go 1-11, 2-10. 2 or 3 years in a row, and nobody's going to really say anything because you play in a juggernaut of a conference. Shane Beamer is at 2.75 at South Carolina. Eli Drinkwitz, $4 million at Missouri, along with Josh Heupel.
I remember very well when Steve Spurrier got $1 million. Everybody thought he was nuts.
You remember when Nolan Ryan signed the first $1 million baseball contract? And everybody's like, oh, my God, look at contracts now. It's so crazy. Mike Leach makes $5 million along with Brian Harsin. So let's stop there. Brian Harsin is in the lower tier coaches in the SEC, and I think that's about right now. I mean, look, nobody feeling sorry for a guy who makes $5 million a year. I mean, not too long ago, that's what Nick Saban made, and he was the top-paid coach in the country. Now, that was several years ago, but still, I remember when he signed like a $5 million, and everybody was like, good Lord. Everybody else was making 1.5, but he was making 5. So now, and we'll get to Nick Saban's salary here in a minute, Sam Pittman with this latest extension now bumped to $6 million plus based on incentives and stuff like that. So depending on what he does, a bowl victory against a Power 5 opponent or a top 25 team can help him earn an incentive. Sam Pittman's 60. I didn't know. I thought he may have been older than that. But anyway, he earns an average of 6+, including guarantee retention bonuses. So he's set to make $6 million this year, but his salary will increase by $100,000 each year of the remainder of his contract. So that's pretty nice. Get you a $100,000 bonus every year.
And the contract will be reworked if they let's say they end up winning the West this year.
Oh, Lord.
Ain't no telling how much they'll pay him.
Oh, no telling what they'll pay him. So Mark Stoops comes in at $6.75 million. Billy Napier comes into Florida making $7.1.
All right, and I mean, my initial reaction is he's probably overpaid, but boy, I mean, Florida had to pay what they had to pay. Just like I think Brian Harsin's overpaid, but Auburn had to pay what they had to pay to get somebody.
So I'm going to go back. I'm going somewhere with all this. Kirby Smart is at 7.133, so he's negotiating an extension and a raise. So he probably stands to.
I bet you he gets up to 10.
I would think. Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss, 7.25. So perspective here: Lane Kiffin, 7.25. Brian Harsin, 5. This is, you may say whatever you want to say, but that's sending a message in itself. Where these coaches are in the rank of salary and where the programs are.
Well, it's about perspective too. I mean, Brian Harsin beat both Sam Pittman and Lane Kiffin, even though both of them are, everybody feels like they're overachieving, and Brian Harsin beat both those guys.
Jerome said he's just getting on. Who has been the Russell coach? So
that's Charles.
Yeah, Jerome, we'll go back to that here in a little bit. So stay with us, okay? Now you go from the 7 and you take a jump here, a $2 million jump to the next. Jimbo Fisher comes in at $9 million plus, so he's got a built-in raise.
Hard to believe. I mean, hard to argue that he's not overpaid. I mean, for the results they've actually gotten. I mean, yeah, he went.
His best year was the COVID year.
Yeah, he went 11-1 or whatever. I mean, 10-1, whatever it was. And that was a nice year, and he did just lose one game to the eventual national champion. But, I mean, still, last year they lost 4 games. Everybody remembers a win over Alabama. They forget about the loss at home to Mississippi State.
Right. If Auburn would have had any offense at all, they would have won. Brian Kelly starts out at $9.5 million. LSU just wheeling the Loomis Fargo truck out there to Brian Kelly. Nick Saban comes in at $10.6 million. Okay, so we'll take a break here. We come back. We'll play a little overpaid, underpaid here in the SEC. Who's getting paid too much? Who is right where they need to be? And who is the best value for what they're getting as a university? So who's underpaid? We'll take a break. Stay tuned. Hour number 2 coming your way right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your expressway to saving.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 here at Sports Blitz Live. Give us a call, 256-234-6221 is the number. Jerome, the head coach at Benjamin Russell High School now is Smitty Grider, coming from Dothan High School. Comes with a long 17-year career here in the state of Alabama as a head coach. Very successful at Beauregard and at Park Crossing in Montgomery. Really was the first coach at Park Crossing, the first coach at the combined Dothan High School. So glad to have Coach Grider now at the helm at Benjamin Russell. Most overpaid and underpaid SEC football coaches. So we just ran down the salaries of everybody in the SEC. So where do they rank? Are they right where they need to be? Are they underpaid? So a good value for the university, or are they overpaid? So we'll start down there with Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. $2.5 million overpaid? I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say no.
You don't have to pay somebody at Vanderbilt that much.
You don't, but here's the deal. When somebody comes there, they're initially saying, I'm sacrificing my reputation. I mean, it's very rare that you're going to have.
So he came from Notre Dame, right?
He was offensive defense coordinator.
I think he was defensive coordinator.
So, and he may just be ambitious. But for the most part, I think guys go there knowing this is a coaching graveyard. Derek Mason?
No.
James Franklin?
James Franklin didn't sacrifice his career.
No, but I think some people are ambitious, and it also later came out that James Franklin probably was recruited some dudes that Vanderbilt doesn't normally get, and they had some problems. And so I think that was a bad fit for everybody.
So Vanderbilt went back to losing.
And Vanderbilt, exactly. But that's why I'm saying Vanderbilt's always going to be a coaching graveyard. It just is. I mean, they don't have a chance to be, to have a moment in the sun like a Rutgers.
There really is like a better chance of a meteor striking your house than Vanderbilt winning the national championship. I'm serious.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Okay. All right.
And when they go to the 36 model.
You think he's where he needs to be?
I would actually say that if I were him, I would say, I'm Notre Dame's defensive coordinator. I'm guessing he was making 1.5. you'd have to pay me more than $1 million extra a year to come to Vanderbilt. The facilities aren't as good. The players aren't as good. You're going to be fired in 3 to 4 years if you make it that long.
Right, the stress is not
and your
there,
name,
but the stress isn't there. If you're, I mean, to me, I think
the
it's,
stress
I guess
is not
it's
there.
about whatever you're trying to do.
The stress is not there, but see what all of a sudden now your head coaching record when they fire you is going to be 10-40 or whatever it is.
Right.
And now
it's going to be scarred, but everybody looks, well, where did he coach? Vanderbilt. Oh, okay, I get it. I think that goes along with it too. So
maybe.
All right, well, Shane Beamer, South Carolina, 2.75. Is he overpaid or underpaid?
I mean, based on everybody else, I think he's about where he needs to be. But if I were Shane Beamer,
right?
I would say he's a little underpaid. He has done some nice things, and he's also gotten South Carolina at least in the discussion for some better recruits.
True.
So, and he's got Spencer Rattler coming in.
We're going to say underpaid. All right, Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri at $4 million.
Hey, you want to talk about somebody I think that's right on the nose. I feel like that's right on the nose, given the market. I need to see him beat somebody.
Yeah.
You got to beat somebody.
But, he hasn't done a half-bad job.
No, he has not.
There, so.
And I think he's a pretty good dude.
He is. He spent several years at Auburn. Josh Heupel, Tennessee, $4 million. Too early to tell.
It's probably a little too early to tell, but I think that's about where he needs to be.
Got some momentum going right now.
Yeah.
So, all right, Mike Leach at $5 million.
Overpaid,
like
grossly overpaid.
Grossly overpaid. Should be around $2.5 million.
I mean, look, I think 2.5 is certainly the floor, so I'm not going to insult him that much. But I'm going to say if you were paying him $3.5 million, that'd be fine, because they're going to end up firing him because it's not going to work out.
Brian Harsin also at $5 million.
I also think he's overpaid. I think $3.5 million is about where he should be. $5 million is just he's a product of the market right now, and Auburn had to pay that much to get him. Whether or not you agree that he should be Auburn's coach, to get him, if Auburn wanted him, they had to pay him that much.
Yep, I think he's overpaid too. But I think from a standpoint of a guy coming in, and also the perception of where you are, you want to say that. Hey, this is our floor, for a coach at our university. If we get somebody more proven or whatever, we may start him at 7. Similar to what you see Billy Napier starting at.
That is something I'm noticing here. The ceiling, everybody loves to talk about the high end. Everybody talks about, man, you believe Nick Saban.
Don't even talk about the floor.
The floor is what's really been adjusted. Because, Nick Saban's worth probably triple what he's making. And nobody's going to deny that. And you can't even calculate what he's done, not only for Alabama, but the state of Alabama and college football in general. You can't put a number on it. But Kirby Smart, you can't really good Lord, Georgia fans got to feel like they've got the bargain of the century. Yeah, they had some losses at home to South Carolina. They dropped some other games.
Yeah, but still, though.
But for the love of all things holy, they won them the first title in 41 years.
That's
right. They're euphoric. They can't – they would pay him double right now.
That's right. That's what negotiating. There's no telling where he ends up.
Exactly.
They may try to figure out a way to make him the highest paid coach in the league.
But my point is those are justified. It's the floor of, we say the floor is $2.5 million, and when we say that, we're almost like, man, you ain't doing nothing. If you get making $2.5 million, $2.5 million is a lot of money.
Oh, it's a ton of money. That's why my point is, you get $2.5 million to go to Vanderbilt with no it's not like, $2.5 million at Vanderbilt. It's not like going to Tennessee and making $4 million. $1.5 million more to coach in that dadgum hot box.
I agree.
Which one are you choosing? So I guess again it's expectations. Sam Pittman at $6 million. Obviously,
look.
I think it's a little bit jumpy.
It's a little jumpy. I'm shocked he's making that much. So I guess I should say overpaid, but I'm going to say for the moment I would hold firm. If you're saying like buy or sell, I'm going to say just hold. I'm not buying any more stock in him.
Yeah, but
I'm not selling it.
Yeah, this is where we are. Mark Stoops at 6.7.
I think he's underpaid. Look, he's taken Kentucky to like 10 win seasons.
They actually expect to win now. So.
And I saw Will Levis projected as the number one quarterback.
Have you seen him lately? Yeah. Good Lord.
I know, it's weird. But
they're expecting him to be a Heisman.
Well, Will Levis was projected to be the number one pick in the draft by a CBS analyst last week, and I think that's ridiculous. But
there's a lot of people and Barrett Sallee thinks Kentucky may win the East this year.
Well, wouldn't that be? I mean, this would be the time you think about it. They don't have
Tennessee
Alabama
and Florida
on the schedule.
Not, I mean,
Tennessee and Florida. They got Georgia
this
at home.
is Georgia. I mean, it's Georgia. That's been their nemesis anyway.
They don't have Texas A&M on the schedule. They've got some. They got a legit shot, if you ask me.
I mean, that would be huge for Mark Stoops. Billy Napier comes in at $7.1 million. Now he's again coming over from Louisiana, but starting out at 7.1.
This is the same thing I'd say about Brian Harsin, that it's what the market demanded he get paid. I think right now he's probably overpaid. Although I'll say this:
I mean, Kirby Smart makes $33,000 more a year than
that's ridiculous.
Than Billy Napier.
And it's really, when you say it like that, it makes you're like, Kirby's way underpaid and he's way overpaid. But they just need to adjust Kirby Smart now.
Well, and they're working on it.
But go back to Billy Napier for a second. One thing that I would say, now I don't think he deserves $2 more million than Brian Harsin. I don't think Brian Harsin deserves the $5 million a year yet, but I don't think Billy Napier deserves that. But it's just what the market will bear. Now, the difference, Billy. Let me tell you something, Brett. I do the Locked On Bama podcast. We have John Garcia on about every week now. Napier's making waves, not just in recruiting, all over Florida, whatever. In this state right here. Tamarian Parker from Central Phoenix City just got crystal balled to Florida. A.J. Harris most people believe he's leaning to Florida and will end up there. Keldrick, I think is it Keldrick Falk or Kelby Collins, one of those two, I think it was Collins, was just at Florida, and he's going to go back soon, and he loved it. They have got they're sinking their teeth into all over the South, including this state.
He's familiar with this state. I mean, he's very familiar with this state. We just talked about Kirby Smart at 7.133. Obviously, that's underpaid right now. Lane Kiffin, 7.25. He's the fourth highest paid coach.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit much, but again, Ole Miss, I guess, had to do that. And really, if you're Ole Miss, maybe you're saying, okay, for us, it's not about just the wins.
Everybody that I talk to thinks that Lane Kiffin ultimately will end up at Auburn.
Which, as an Alabama fan, I'd be fine with, because I'm telling you, he feels like the kind of guy, and maybe he's changed, maybe he's had this, epiphany or whatever, but he feels like the kind of guy that he's going to be somewhere 3 to 5 years, and then he's hightailing it, or he's in trouble.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you just don't know what he's going to do.
And outside of, he did some great things at Alabama with a boatload of talent.
Sure.
And he did some nice things. He's done some nice things at Ole Miss.
He sure has.
But, at the same time.
If he hadn't decided to play Alabama this past year like he was playing a video game, then he may have had a chance to win. But he went in there and went for it on every stinking down in the first quarter and really coached himself out of the game.
He did that against everybody. He did that against Auburn several. Shoot, didn't he go for it against Auburn? Auburn,
yeah,
in his own territory several times.
Didn't get it. I mean,
it's just silly.
Just stupid decisions.
Now going back to them for a second, they got a guy named Luke Altmaier who a lot of people think will win the job now. At quarterback. Right. I know Alabama recruited him. He's a good player. And then they've got Zach Evans coming in, who some people think could be the second or third best back in the country. He was, the number one back in the country and went to TCU and that transferred. So, maybe now that they've got a bit more of a running game, maybe they'll be better. But I think it all starts on the offensive line. So if you can't get a push, it's not going to matter.
No doubt about it. Real quick, Jimbo Fisher, $9 million a year.
Now, look, I'm going to say he's overpaid just because of the records. I think he's been there long enough to say, show me what your record is.
Yeah.
And he had one good year, and in that year he lost in a big way to Alabama. Or they,
didn't they pretty much guarantee him $75 million?
Oh yeah, he's guaranteed. Well, and he's guaranteed more than that.
Yeah.
So
Brian Kelly, 9.5 coming into LSU.
I guess if you're an LSU fan, you're saying that's what we had to do to get him. Okay, if that's your guy, but I'm going to tell you, I think he's overpaid.
I agree, and of course, no-brainer, Nick Saban, 10.6. If nobody's saying he's underpaid at all, nobody's saying he's overpaid. Yeah. They're definitely saying he's underpaid for what he's done at Alabama in his time. So that's your coaches in the SEC and what they make. So up against the break, stay tuned. More SportzBlitz Live right after this.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
Okay, somebody's not wearing their seatbelt.
I don't wear seat belts. Might wrinkle my shirt.
That's okay. I'm sure they can iron it before the funeral.
What funeral?
Yours. Almost 70% of people who die in car crashes aren't wearing a seatbelt.
Okay. There. You happy?
Just happy to be alive.
Seatbelts. It's hard to live without them. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
It's time to crank for bank. April 1st through July 4th, you'll be fishing Lake Martin for a chance to win big. With a $100 registration, you'll be fishing for $1 million from Big Fish Real Estate Group and Point Broadband, a 2022 Bass Cap Bass Boat from Russell Marine, 2022 Skeeter Bass Boat from Ashley Outdoors, a 2022 Chevy truck from Lake Martin Cabinetry and Allen Embry Premier Chevrolet, or catch a $1,500 tagged fish. Brought to you in part by Dunning Roofing, Lake Martin Tourism, Mortgage Pro, Fishing Chaos, and Lake Broadcasting. Visit Crank, the number 4 bank.com for details.
Welcome back, everyone, to SportzBlitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Sunshine, heating, and air here on this Tuesday evening. About 35 more minutes left in tonight's show. Kind of moving on into the NBA Finals. I know we won't spend a lot of time on this because we don't have a ton of people that even care, but maybe they'll finish the finals this year. I mean, this thing has drug out. But anyway, the Warriors-Celtics tied at 1. Celtics really kind of went in and destroyed Golden State in game 1, but they repaid the favor. But Boston, now they go to Boston for 2 games. So really in the semifinals, Boston didn't play well at home. So they played better on the road. We'll see what happens, but do you care? Does this matter? Does anybody care?
Boy, I want to watch more of it, Brett, but, I mean, you know, I'm an early-to-bed guy, and, I mean, it just comes on so late, and it's so hard.
Well, I'm with you. And speaking, I did miss something. We were going through, we went to break. NCAA baseball super regionals, I didn't even talk about the Oregon State Auburn. When we got to talking about all the teams and everything, I got to the Hattiesburg and the times they start. Auburn will start on Saturday night at 9:30 p.m.
Now, I know that's 7:30 local, but I don't like that at all.
ESPN2, I mean, you're talking about you better get your coffee if you're going to stay up and watch. These games, too, let me say this. That regional game with UCLA was already a 2-hour delay. I look up, the first pitch was like at 8:05. I look up at like 10:20. We're in the 4th inning. The 4th inning. I'm like, it's going to be 1 o'clock. And so literally at like almost 11, they suspend the game and you get home. I mean, it's like, these games are entirely too long. I mean, they really are. And I know that's part of it. It's baseball, and we've had this discussion on this show a million times. But especially in tournament play and regionals, and UCLA had to go through everybody on the roster as a pitcher, and guy gets out there and gets in a jam, the coach comes out and talks to him, and he comes back, tries to see if he can go again. He walks the next batter, he comes back out there, and he calls the bullpen, gets another guy. They got to change pitchers. It's just and you expect that. It's part of it in regional games. But, man, the games are averaging about 4.5 hours.
I mean, I think this is the case for every sport. And, look, we need the TV money. I say we. I mean, they need the TV money. And it's helped expand the sport, and certainly. But I've said this about basketball forever. You know, you watch a college basketball game. Now we've all just sort of built in these, 4-minute timeouts. You get one at the 16, you get one at the 12, you get one at the 8, you get one at the 4, and then, of course, halftime. And then the other timeouts that are built in.
Well, I don't know how.
And I'm like, it's not – that's it. The TV is interrupting the flow.
Well, as in
of the
shape
game.
as these athletes are at the college and pro level. And we've seen this broken down, and you can pull this up, I'm sure. The actual amount of time in a college football game that is spent actually running, doing something. And it's like, it's unreal. It's like 15, 20 minutes in the whole game. And both teams get 3 timeouts a half and all the TV stuff. And you're talking about, well, they're exerting 20, maybe 25 minutes worth of actual.
Now, when they catch you, they knock the hell out of you.
Well, they do. I mean, but you look at it from a standpoint of, my God, dude, it's crazy.
Let's go ahead and get a call. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Doing
What's
great,
up, man. How you doing, brother?
Oh, fine. Hey, wait, let me. I need to tell Luke something for Luke.
Yes, sir.
I don't know who that guy was that called and asked you if your britches were in a wad. I'd want to be real careful coming back to Birmingham tonight. I don't know. He didn't sound right. And I hope you're doing good. And Brett, I got a question for you.
Okay.
All right. We got Brody Moore down there.
Right.
Shortstop, second base.
Correct.
We had a Brandon Moore down there. Back 20 years ago, I guess. You remember him?
I do remember Brandon.
Huh?
I do. Yes, sir, I do. I do remember him.
All right. Well, I went to school with their daddy and granddaddy.
Awesome.
He was a real good catcher at Hewitt. And
has it been 20 years since he's been there? That's crazy.
He's got a boy that's down there now, and he got a younger one, I think.
Wow.
Aniana. Brandon's the coach at Aniana.
Okay. Brody's playing really well right now.
Yeah, he is. That old boy, he was a big man. The dad, when I went to school with there at Hewitt, and I know he'd be grinning after that 5-hit game.
Yeah, he just seeing the ball so well right now. And, since the injection of Cole Foster in the lineup, these Auburn bats have just exploded. And it's crazy in baseball. Cole Foster got injured in the Alabama series. Auburn's bats went cold, and you think, well, man, they've got all these guys up and down the lineup been hitting all year, and you take one guy out, and it does. I mean, hitting's contagious. Cole Foster comes in against Southeast Louisiana, hits 3, almost hit 4 home runs.
Yeah, I know.
And everybody now is seeing the ball like it's a watermelon.
Well, I'll tell you what, they got some good teachers down there, and it's starting to pay off, I think.
I definitely think so, too.
But, Luke, I hope you've been doing all right. I ain't bugged you lately. Been laying low.
Well, you call anytime, bud. Yeah, I'm doing fine. I appreciate your call.
All right, man. Y'all take care.
Thank you.
Appreciate it as always. But yeah, get your panties out.
Yeah, he said at least he used the term britches.
Yeah, no doubt. But again, going back to this time, this game starts at 9:30 Central. Like you said, 7:30 out at Oregon State. But you're looking at this game getting over probably 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and then turn around, play at 9 o'clock on Sunday night. And then if a game 3 is needed, that's still to be determined. So,
I bet it'd be somewhere around the same time. I mean,
that's
too much.
It's crazy.
Look, we've sold our souls for television.
Well, it's exactly why the game got called with Alabama at Auburn. You know, they started the game at 3. There's a rule in the SEC. You can't play past 7 o'clock on a Sunday. And with the rain delayed, they said, we're not going to get started back in time. Everybody go home. And I'm like, so everybody that paid to get in the game just basically saw a nothing.
Well, and
I mean, seriously.
Look, I don't know if any of these players – I don't know what Auburn's on the quarter system, right?
No, semester.
Semester, okay.
Semester, yeah.
All right, so they're on the semester system. But
I don't know
there
anybody
is summer
on the
school
quarter
right now,
anymore.
right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm assuming some of these players are still in school. I mean,
guess.
taking classes.
I guess.
So the whole thing was the reason they couldn't finish the Alabama series.
But at the time, both teams were in between semesters.
I know.
Yeah, right.
I know.
Right.
But I'm saying now,
Oh, yeah. I see where
you
you're
have
going.
some guys that are in class legitimately.
And then they got to go play
and even if they
all-nighters.
Even if they were to come back, you know, and I understand if you have a game Monday, you're going to miss class anyway. But, my God, if you don't come back from Oregon, Corvallis, Oregon, after a game starts at 9, you won't get home till 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning on Tuesday.
That's it.
And then you're kind of ruined for Wednesday. I mean, I would be.
Yeah, the jet lag.
I'd be
and
done
everything
for
else.
the week.
Yeah, you probably ain't going to class that
I know.
week. But it brings up a good point. See, it is kind of hypocritical, contradictory that, you know, Auburn was up 9-1 in the 6th against UCLA, and
I thought it was 9-0.
It may have been 9-0. I think you're right. And then, you know, it's like, call the daggone game. I mean, at this point, but every regional has to be played in its entirety.
Look, call me crazy, and I'm sure some people will. And
you already had some people.
I know I had some people say my panties are completely wadded up. But you know, maybe baseball should be 7 innings like softball. I'm ducking people throwing stuff at me, but
Yeah,
I mean,
something just came through the.
What's is that the worst thing that's ever
I don't
happened?
think it is. I mean, you know, it all goes back to stats, and that's where baseball kind of, you know, everybody goes, well, we play 162 games, which I think is entirely too many. But it goes, you know, the shortened season. What was it? 2 years ago, the COVID season, I thought was perfect. I thought that was a
lot more fun season to watch.
It was, and it just felt like the right number of games. But you go back to all these stats and everything, and we got to play 162 games, keep everything consistent and all. But no, things change.
I mean,
things change. Look at NCAA football. This is not the 1980s NCAA football.
Well, look at I think it was Daniel Tosh, a comedian, said something. He said, "Yeah." He said, I want my baseball players juiced up. He said, yeah, I like to see home runs. Nobody wants to go see, 1-0 games every single night. And he said, you know what? Everybody's worried about the stats. Well, and how truthful they are when people juiced up. Well, everybody loves to count Babe Ruth stats. Guess what? They weren't allowing African-American players to play back then. Wouldn't it have been a little different if he had to face some Cuban African-American players? Anybody except a bunch of dudes that look just like him?
True.
See, so my point is the stats are all skewed anyway.
Right.
They can just be the stats. It is.
Just happens to be that error.
Look, now you have – it's not the same – Nolan Ryan pitching isn't the same as any dude pitching right now.
Okay, so I watched a play, and we're going to get a break. I'm going somewhere with the toughness of the rule changes in NFL and NBA. A foul in the early 90s and late 80s is not the same foul as it is now. I mean, these little ticky-tack fouls. All right, so I watched a drone view of a Patrick Mahomes play, and he did his running around and got away from like 3 defenders and then rolled to the right sideline, and he had a guy beating down on him. And as he went to throw across the field, he completed Tyreek Hill and ran. But I rewound it, and I watched the guy, as soon as Patrick Mahomes started to throw, he went like this.
Mm-hmm.
He went like this. It's like, oh, my God, I don't want to touch him. Back 10, 15, 20 years ago, Patrick Mahomes been picking his teeth up off the ground.
A Randall Cunningham, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly just would have
exploded.
Just into
the pieces of helmet would have flown off, pads and everything.
And look, and I'm for the game being safer.
I am too, but I'm just saying that really woke me up.
But this is ridiculous.
He was like, he's coming full speed, and as soon as he saw Patrick Mahomes cock his arm back to throw, he just like, man, I can't even touch him.
And therein lies the rub, because if Dan Marino had the same kind of quarterback protection as a Patrick Mahomes, he would have thrown for a gazillion yards. He was arm talent. He was as good as anybody there's ever been.
Yeah, and no doubt.
So yeah, it's all the stats are skewed because the game has changed. Things have morphed.
In every sport, in all of them,
and
basketball,
not only that,
football, and baseball.
And think about how free agency has changed things. Used to be, if you were on a team, that's just where you were.
I'd rather them take 30, 40 games out of the regular season and make the playoffs longer if they wanted to do that.
Yeah.
The games would mean more.
See, at least
instead of half the league at the All-Star break here in a month being so far out of contention that they're just going out there going through the motion.
And that's why I'm not as upset when pro football teams make the playoffs at 8-8. First of all, I'm resigned to the fact that this is all about the money, so you got a money grab.
doubt.
But you play fewer games, so legitimately you could say you know less about them.
Right.
In baseball, if you play 162 games, if you hadn't figured out who the best damn teams are,
30 games
what are you
in,
watching?
30 games in, the Orioles suck.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Reds can't beat. The Reds wouldn't win in the Corvallis Regional.
And so you're telling me late July, early August, anybody gives a rip in Cincinnati?
This is all you need to know about how baseball is too long. The California Angels are
They just fired their manager.
I keep calling them California Angels. They're Los Angeles Angels, right?
yeah,
okay.
LA, yeah.
That's how much baseball I love. But the Los Angeles Angels just fired their manager because he's lost 12 in a row. They're in second place in their division.
They're second place, and Joe Madden has won, what has he won, 2 World Series? I mean,
but no, my point is, if you lose 12 games in a row in any other sport,
right?
You're way down here. In baseball, it's like, we can make it up. You know why? Because we just keep playing until everybody dies.
We'll go to break. Stay tuned. More SportzBlitz Live right after this.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Now is the best time to sell your current home, as it's a seller's market, meaning that on average you can get up to 96% of your asking price. Who's the most aggressive and most experienced to help you sell your home?
Hi, I'm Rhonda Gaskins, broker Century 21 Lake Area Realty in the Lake Martin area. We are getting a 96% return on our listing price to sales price in this area. Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
LMG Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
GillsOpelika.info. Get pre-approved in minutes online at GillsOpelika.info for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Gills Auto Sales, 1430 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. All right, so forgive me. Phil Mickelson got out of the PGA, and he's part of this new LIV. Is it Live or is it Live? I don't know what it is.
I have
but
paid
anyway,
zero attention.
I have too. So, but I knew that he had changed. So anyway, we're going to say Live Golf is a rival golf league to the PGA, where the tournaments consist of 54 holes. The field's limited to 48 golfers. The purses are astronomical. $25 million. 12 four-man teams will compete in each event, and the individual purses will be $20 million, while the other $5 million will be divided up among the best teams each week. So who leads Live Golf? Live Golf Investments run the league, and the CEO is the two-time major champion Greg Norman. So Greg Norman started this. It's funded by the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. So there's unlimited money here, which is effectively the financial arm of the Saudi Arabian government. These funds are seemingly limitless, as the league has paid hundreds of millions of dollars to players just to guarantee their appearances at Live Golf Invitational Series events. Who are some of the Live Golf players? Dustin Johnson has left PGA. He's now over there. Phil Mickelson, Brandon Gray, Sergio Garcia, Lee Westwood, Ian Poulter, Kevin Na, Martin Keimer, Graham McDowell, Louis Osteen, and Charles Schwartzel. A lot of Masters winners there. A lot of people are up in arms that they call Phil Mickelson a traitor. They're calling some of these golfers a traitor. They've turned their back on the league that gave them their prominence, and now. But I mean, I guess though everybody's chasing what, Luke?
Money. If you're Phil Mickelson, you say, yeah, you called me a traitor, right? Yeah, y'all still paying me $20 million every. Okay, yeah, I'm a traitor.
Yeah.
But that's what it comes down to. But I do find it ironic that this Saudi Arabian thing is getting started with all these new golfers, because we're all going to need an electric golf cart to drive around if gas prices get any damn higher.
There's no doubt about it. And not only for the people that diesel. I know you and I don't drive anything that has diesel.
Well, our company does.
But yeah, I mean, that's where I'm going. The diesel kind of affects everything that you pay for outside of the gas that you put in your car. I mean, your goods at the grocery store go up because diesel costs more for the trucks to get it there. Costs more to build houses. Everything is affected by the cost of diesel. Diesel in some places is $6, $7 a gallon.
It's insanity.
And there's no end in sight. That's the crazy thing. We think we have not peaked here. So this is a thing. So, but anyway, I guess it's live. I mean, if I'm saying it wrong, somebody please correct me. Again, I'm not the biggest into this new league of golf, but I do know the story.
I'll tell you,
they're trying to. Basically, what they're trying to say though is that they're trying to take and do away with the PGA.
Well, I don't know about. I think they're just trying to compete with them. I mean, it's sort of like.
Well, if they want to get all the top golfers.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember,
eventually that's going to kill the.
That's what USFL tried to do too.
Well, it didn't work.
But
Birmingham's still undefeated.
Yeah, my point is that if you're gonna do it, I think right now the USFL probably picked a bad time to make that move. But if you're gonna do this, and if you're this new organization, you probably picked a good time. Tiger Woods out of the picture, essentially. He was easily the most marketable, the most watched player. I mean, the eyeballs he brought into this thing were crazy. And now, frankly, it's not that. I mean, there's some diehard golf fans that probably watch this, but if Tiger Woods isn't in it, I've immediately already lost some interest.
So Justin chimes in here and says he thinks it's a Roman numeral thing. So LIV would be 54?
Well, that makes sense, 54 holes.
Okay, so yeah, 54 holes. So there it is. It's a new thing, so that's right. So maybe it ain't live. Maybe so what do you call it? 54 golf? All right, so that makes a little bit more sense. And so I don't know. That's it. So appreciate it, Justin, for the little thing there. But they're competing, and they're paying a boatload of money. Are
these tournaments going to take place in the States?
Not sure where these tournaments are taking place. I mean, this is all funded by – are they all overseas?
I was wondering. I don't know.
If anybody knows, fill us in. I mean, seriously, this is all new to us.
They're running into some bunkers over there, I can tell you that.
Is there any grass?
Like
over
bunkers
there?
and sand
They
traps.
just play the entire golf on sand. So take a break. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER.com. It's better at Brubaker.com.
At CNT Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
For almost 10 years, there's been the go-to place for tires and automotive repair, Right Tire. Right Tire sells all makes of tires for anyone's vehicle and anyone's budget, and with Right Tire, you always get the right prompt service with the right price. Right Tire also can handle all of your bumper-to-bumper automotive needs with certified brake service, alignment, oil changes, tune-ups, and so much more. So when you want tires and automotive done right, see Right Tire on West Fort Williams in the heart of Sylacauga. Right work, right price, every time.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Become a member of the Superior family. Superior GMC Cadillac, Superior Hyundai, or Superior Automotive Pre-Owned. Between our 3 dealers in East Central Alabama, we offer the superior selection and service for any buyer's needs. All with the personal touch of being locally family-owned and operated. Check out any of our dealers online, or our 3 great lots in Anniston on Quintard, or our pre-owned Superstore in Pell City, and join the Superior family of value.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. 15 minutes left in tonight's show. We never leave enough time to do this at the ends. We like to have a little bit of fun toward the end of the show. So rank them, and we do rank them based on birthdays of famous people, musicians, actors, whatever. By the way, be remiss, you haven't seen Top Gun yet. I haven't either.
No.
You looking
I
forward?
mean, you read the last 2?
I think we are. You excited about going to watch it?
I mean, I would have gone like
everybody's talking.
I know
really good about it.
It's the first one wasn't even like. I thought he was good. I mean, I'm fine, but the way everybody's talking about this thing, I'm like, what the is?
I mean,
what is it? I don't even know what the. But then
what
somebody,
is the plot? I heard there was not a plot.
Somebody told me there's really not a plot. It's just
there's
all
got to
the
be a plot.
Pew, pew, and I mean,
there's got to be some kind of plot.
I'd just rather go see the Blue Angels. If
I was going to say, and it's in live.
Yeah,
it's live in person. Anyway, so we've got a few that we want to rank tonight. Jessica Tandy, Tom Jones.
Tom Jones would be good.
Yeah, Liam Neeson. So
we're not ranking these against each other, are
we? No. I'm just going.
I think
through.
Tom Jones would beat Jessica Tandy's butt. Now I'll just tell you right
And
now.
so Liam Neeson, Tom Jones, and
Liam Neeson. I got to do Liam Neeson.
Okay, well we're gonna do Liam
because now he is the same character in every movie. That's where he's the Bruce Willis of this.
He just
genre.
goes around and kills everybody.
Yeah,
don't mess with it.
He's always got a particular set of skills.
Don't take his daughter.
Yeah,
he just wiped the whole town out. I mean, he's gonna get his revenge. All right, so Jessica Tandy, movies. Do you care?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The Birds, Cocoon, Batteries Not Included, Driving Miss Daisy, and Nobody's Fool. Pretty popular movies, man.
Nobody's Fool I never saw. Driving Miss Daisy I liked.
Batteries Not Included. That wasn't that bad. That was an 80s
It's fine.
movie.
It's fine.
Yep.
And then the other one, Cocoon's good.
Yeah, Cocoon.
And then the Birds. I'd put the Birds. I went Alfred Hitchcock.
I was going to ask you, do you like Alfred Hitchcock?
Love Alfred
stuff?
Hitchcock. Love Alfred
Everything.
Hitchcock.
Yeah, I'm with you. Very, very good. So there's your rank.
I remember the Alfred Hitchcock Presents show
on
NBC.
Absolutely.
I used to love that.
And
yeah.
they still replay those
Yeah.
on some of these, like Me TV and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's pretty cool. All right, Tom Jones,
Okay.
born on this day in
02?
God almighty.
He's been lacquered
Jesus
6
Christ.
times.
1940.
Okay.
She's a lady.
That's
Yeah, you
good. It's very Tom Jones. I don't think anybody else could even sing that like he can. I mean,
No, I don't think. What's New, Pussycat?
I don't like that song as much, but it is very Tom Jones.
It's Not Unusual.
I like that song a lot.
Green, Green Grass of Home.
Don't know that one.
Delilah.
By the way, the fact that Andy didn't put Tom Jones' version of Prince's Kiss on there on Prince's birthday, by the way.
Today's Prince's birthday.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Why would you wouldn't? Prince is my favorite artist of all time. It's not even close. So why you
He
wouldn't
is
have
the
Prince?
artist, right?
I mean, well, he is the artist, and I mean, he's, he's the Prince channel.
What the crap was that sign?
That he was trying to get out of a contract, and so he thought if he changed his name to a symbol, it would help him, and it didn't. But he
So
did.
is that what-
He did eventually
Is
get
that
out
what
of
Ron Artest was thinking when he changed his
Yeah.
name to Meta World
Yeah.
Peace?
Probably.
Wow. Okay. All right. So what's top?
I mean, I like.
She's a lady.
She's a lady, and then but there was the other one that I said I liked a lot.
I'm talking about It's Not Unusual.
It's Not Unusual is my favorite. Then
It's
She's a
Not
Lady, and then I'm putting What's New, Pussycat, close to the end. The Green Grass One I don't know, and Delilah I don't really like.
Okay. All right. So Liam Neeson.
Okay.
Schindler's List.
God, I keep forgetting he was in that. I mean,
He's the main character.
I know. My point is, like, when I think Schindler's List, I just think about the movie as a whole. I don't think about the actors.
No, I know it.
You know?
Good movie.
Yeah. Great movie.
Batman Begins.
Oh, I liked him as that. He was a little funky as Ra's al Ghul, but I liked him.
Taken.
Love Taken. Particular set of skills.
Next of Kin.
I
don't know that one.
Was that the Patrick?
I don't know
Was
that
that a
one.
Patrick Swayze movie?
Suspect.
I don't know that one.
And Kroll.
Oh, Kroll. Okay.
Okay, hold
He
on.
was
Let me
good.
preface Andy's comment here before you say anything. Pretty sure I'm the only one who's ever seen it, but I love that.
Kroll?
That's what he said.
No, this when Kroll had like a ninja star looking thing that he'd throw and he'd come back, and there was a castle that moved every 24 hours, and some Cyclops had to hold the door open.
Can I give you the Johnny Depp look?
Yeah. Only Andy and I should have done this one. You're right about that.
Yeah.
It's-
So Andy, you're not the only other one that's watched.
No, I know Kroll.
You and Luke are the only two that's ever watched.
Yeah, Kroll was like a Conan the maybe a little more sophisticated Conan the Barbarian, but worse special effects. So,
Liam Neeson's only 12 years younger than Tom Jones, by the way.
that doesn't seem right. Tom Jones seems like he's found his own transfer portal because I think he was born in the 1800s.
Are you talking about Tom Jones
No,
or
have you
Wayne
seen
Newton?
Tom Jones?
I know.
No, I mean Tom Jones is still a dude. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I mean I feel like Tom Jones has been 60 for a long time now.
He's just hanging out right there.
It's not unusual. It's pretty unusual.
You know, there's one guy that we talk about. We won't mention any names that we've been in. Yeah, I still don't know how old the guy is. I mean, he sometimes we have a meeting. He looks like he's 27. Other times you like
Brett.
I mean, he does. I'm gonna start doing the Johnny Depp.
Brett, Alex City is in a time.
This guy's not from Alex City.
Well,
this guy's not from Alex City.
How about from most of Alabama is in a time warp, in the sense that when you
this guy
typically
takes
when
the
you
cake.
hit 20, you start looking like you're about 60, but when you're 60, you look like you could be 20. It's weird. But then eventually the bottom falls out. That's what's going to happen to me one day, because people still take me all the time like, you can't believe you're 49. And I'm like, yeah, I got a baby face, can't really grow a beard. And then one day y'all going to see me and be like, did a spaceship hit Luke in the face?
All right, we got to go to break. Last segment coming up right after this.
So, you finally got the boat, ATV, or side-by-side of your dreams, huh? But make it yours with marine-grade audio that'll provide crisp, high-quality sound that's loud enough to be heard, whether you're cruising on the lake or hitting a mud hole. Come see Steve at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, so you'll be ready to crank up the volume. Whoa, but wait, you don't have to pull out of the water and trailer it to Auburn. The Car Stereo Shop can handle all of your work at any one of the Lake Martin marinas.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
At Russell Medical, our transitional care unit is a great alternative to nursing home care after a medical or surgical hospital stay. Transitional care increases strength and endurance through skilled nursing and therapy programs to promote a safe return home. Enjoy on-site therapy, private rooms, an activity center, and more. Call Russell Medical today to see if our transitional care unit is the right care for you.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce. Because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Welcome back, everyone. Final segment of the program here on this Tuesday night. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us every week and appreciate your phone calls and your comments on Facebook Live. Again, couldn't do it without JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. The College Football Hall of Fame, just a little bit. Some first-time players up this year. You got to be 10 full seasons removed from the final year. This really starts making you feel old when you think about this, some of these players. 10 full seasons removed from their final year of college football and have received first-team All-America honors by an organization recognized by the NCAA. That's what you have to do to be eligible. Coaches are eligible 3 full seasons after retirement or immediately after retirement if they're at least 70 years old. Coach must have been a head coach for at least 10 years and have coached at least 100 games with a winning percentage of 600 or better. The newest inductees will be announced in early 2023, so in about 7 months. Tim Tebow, Alex Smith, and Ryan Leaf highlight the first-time candidates on the ballot for the College Football Hall of Fame.
Ryan Leaf was really good in college, but how does he highlight the thing? Tim Tebow's an absolute no-brainer, first ballot.
Alex Smith.
Forget it. Alex Smith's going to be close. I think he might get in on this first ballot, too. I know Auburn's got Greg Carr. Alabama's got Langham and Chris Samuels. I think both those guys should be in. But when you look over there and you see Tim Tebow on the ballot, you're like, okay. And I think Reggie Bush is on the ballot.
Reggie Bush is on the ballot.
So they're two guys that are getting
Tim Couch is on the ballot.
Couch.
Warwick Dunn's on the ballot. Ray Lewis is on the ballot.
I'd put Warwick Dunn in for sure. I don't know if I'd put Couch would have to.
Dwight Freeney?
Dwight Freeney was really good.
Yeah.
Well, he ate Auburn up that time.
Yeah, Kajana Carter's on the ballot.
He was really good in college.
Yep. Well, that's what this is.
Yeah, I know.
Justin Blackman from Oklahoma State's on the ballot.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd put him in.
LaMichael James, who was pretty good at Oregon. I don't think he makes
but I don't think he
makes it. Luke Kuechly from Boston
Who
College.
was fantastic.
Okay, Oklahoma has Dewey Selman on there. So
He was good. I don't know if he's in that.
And D'Angelo Williams from Memphis is on there.
Yeah, I don't think D'Angelo Williams should get in over, some of these other guys we've talked about, but he'd be close. But, I mean, I think it varies on the number of guys that get in, right? It's not like a set number.
No, it's not a set number. But right now, 80 players and 9 coaches from FBS, 96 players and 33 coaches from the divisional ranks are up this year. So, who knows?
And I do hate that it gets rather political sometimes, and like you have to let in somebody from a smaller school. I know.
What doesn't? So, that's going to wrap it up for Sports Blitz Live on this Tuesday. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching and listening. Thanks to JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heat and Air for our 2 corporate partnerships there. Auburn Blitz on the rest of the week from noon to 1. You can catch it right here and on Facebook Live as well. For Lou Robinson, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We hope you have to see you next time.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Fast, fresh, and friendly. That's the Allen Brew Market mission to our customers on the go. Allen Brew Markets of Talladega County fuel your vehicle and you with the best coffee, drinks, snacks, and food so you can get your day on the fast track. Allen Brew Markets are always convenient with Sylacauga locations on Main Avenue, Highway 280, and Old Birmingham Highway. Allen Brew Markets has everything for the family on the go, and we're always brewing up great specials. Fast, fresh, and friendly. Our guarantee to you.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
Hi, John. You have messages.
Not now, phone. I'm driving.
You know you want to text your friends.
Texting and driving is illegal. No distractions, period. People die that way. Eating, putting on makeup.
Scroll through your music?
Nope.
Your girlfriend just texted. She's bored.
Sorry, not worth dying for.
Good call. She seems a little clingy.
Don't text your life goodbye. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Are you looking for something really good for lunch? Are you tired of the same old fast food? Well, go to Buck's. Get a meat and 2 sides or a meat and 3 sides for the best deal in town. Buck's always serves up the best food, including fried chicken, wings, hamburger steaks, catfish, shrimp, and yes, of course, the famous Buck Cheeseburger Basket. And Buck's has dinner specials too. So if it's your turn to cook dinner, Buck's will be glad to do it for you. We appreciate your business and look forward to serving you.
Whoever you are, wherever you race, hit the track like a champion. The YZ250F and the YZ450F Monster Energy Yamaha Racing Editions. Only from Yamaha.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Fast, fresh, and friendly. That's the Allen Brew Market mission to our customers on the go. Allen Brew Markets of Talladega County fuel your vehicle and you with the best coffee, drinks, snacks, and food so you can get your day on the fast track. Allen Brew Markets are always convenient with Sylacauga locations on Main Avenue, Highway 280, and Old Birmingham Highway. Allen Brew Markets has everything for the family on the go, and we're always brewing up great specials. Fast, fresh, and friendly. Our guarantee to you.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.